Hello and welcome back to the 21st edition of Will He Bottle It, featuring Art of Rally, the weekly leaderboards for September 21st, 2024 in the late Group B or the Quattro in Finland. Now, this is a course where I had moved my practices to Finland a few weeks back because, I used to warm up in Germany and it didn't really tend to transfer it a lot to other places, so and I do that in Group E205. So I was actually quite a bit more prepared for this one in particular than I was for most other ones previously. Although I have rarely driven this one before, I prefer the 205. It feels a bit more lively, but not too lively that I can't handle it. But this was a good one. I've seen this in most world records, at least top runs. So I knew this was a good car. I knew I was used to this group, this performance group, even if not this car. And I had just warmed up in a different car in this. In fact, one of the tracks was this one. So I had hopes. I knew that I could do well. Here. The question remains: could I string it along for 4 stages? Now we have a very beautiful forest, the very beautiful forest of Finland, in a very well camouflaged Audi. I like, of course. If it weren't for the dirt, you couldn't even see it. But the first one is actually less than 9/10 away from my personal best. That puts us in 19th. For the very first one, that is, I believe, my best start yet. And onwards, we move to a short dash through Normaku, where there's lots of logs and whatnot. And the question shall be answered: did I bottle it? And the answer is yes, but it happened quite early on, and the manner of which it happened was incredibly lucky, because, I did a quick little 360 and it pushed me back on the track, so not much time was lost. Mostly a little bit of confidence, a bit of feeling, but I was quickly getting it back. Now, this jump in particular with the logs on the outside was always super scary. Thankfully, I managed to slow myself just a little bit enough to be able to make that corner, and we carry on. Now, time has been lost, perhaps I think not that much, because it was a slow corner. So I think it was maybe 2-3 seconds. Obviously there's better ways to take that corner, but I have made bigger errors. So it's a small bottle, not taking the world record like here. So the bottle was a small one, 250 mils of Coke or whatever. Of your other drinks are available, of course. Now. Actually, not even that far away. I think my personal bests are like either 16 or 18. I can't remember. But yeah, that puts us down to 25th. Not the best, but actually still better than last week, where I was a very consistent 28th. And from the stage 2 onwards to the end. Spoiler alert. I know you've seen it. But, feel free to check it out if you so desire. If you want to see how the last week's one went, had a fun with the Opel Cadet. But now, moving back a stage to Group S and Group B rather, and Stage 3. Another one that had come up in the practice ones. Obviously, it's 4 random stages and 4 random weathers, but yeah. Another one that I was I'm not going to say too familiar with. This one was a bit further away in my memory, but nonetheless it was a solid one, I reckon. But yeah, I was making the best of my luck this week with the rally and group selection. I don't really know why I went for the Peugeot 205 in Group B as my Group B car choice. Well, I'll tell you why. Because I usually go for Lancias, and that one and the Group B S4 was such a handful, and I'd seen myself get beaten by the 205 in the lead balls quite often. So I tried that. I liked it. This one, I don't know. I didn't vibe with it, I'll put it to you this way. It might be faster, but would I? But the question isn't whether I would be faster than the top drivers. But the question is whether I would be faster in this than I would be in the 205. And the answer is probably sometimes. Who knows? How inconsistent I am. As long as it's not the car is not too twitchy, I can probably do anything with any car. Said a personal best with any car, you know. A slight blunder there. A bit of a scary moment because I nearly plonked into some barriers, but so far so good for stage 3 of 4. As we round out the final couple of corners to see whether I've climbed or fallen down further. A 241.218 and 17th. We are 17th. At this stage, at this point, I feel like that's actually really good. That's actually pretty damn good. Maybe I don't know how far away I was from top 10. I didn't bother checking the leaderboards, as you could see very well. But with one stage remaining, I dash back at the one we just came from in the night. We've let the car cool, we've fixed a few fires or something like that, and we've let 200 others do the final stage before us. But now, the home stretch, 2 and a bit minutes of, well, just under 3 rather, of doing the same thing backwards. Obviously, having them back to back means that part of it was still in my memory, and perhaps I could use that. Whether I did or not, I mean, I might have had some preparation for what was coming, and the nighttime didn't really hinder much. The forests were foresty, the trees didn't hinder our sight too much, and the lights worked well. I didn't crash into anything and break the lights before, so yeah, everything was lit. Now the question remained whether the time would be lit. Halfway through, just about, and yeah, 1 minute later, and well, 10-ish seconds, we would find out. But so far, if you've enjoyed this one before, so far, leave a like, leave a comment, perhaps even subscribe. Thank you, either way. But, yeah, 1 minute remaining. There's not really much to say other than that this was a good one, in my opinion. Obviously, nothing doesn't set the world alight. But we were on course for what I believe was my finest finish, as far as I can remember, at least. If someone's watched all the other 20 runs before, well, probably not the 14 through 20, definitely not the best. But if there's a better one, better finish, let me know in the comments below. If there isn't, also do that, do the same. Now, as I've rambled, the run has nearly come to an end. Just some rocks to dodge, 2 corners remaining, well, 1 long hairpin rather. and we shall find out. A bit of a slower time by 3 seconds, and that drops us down to 20 seconds. Still a very good run. I think this is my best finish in these weekly rallies. That I can remember, as I mentioned. But now let's look at the scoreboard. And let's see how far away I was from top 10. Now here we are, 37 away from the first, but the first was never in reach. However, what about top 10? Eight seconds away. 8 seconds away from top 10. Could I have made it? The bottle in stage 2, I don't think was big enough for that. But yeah, that was that. Actually, that was really good, really close to top 10. I can be happy with this result. And if you are too, if you enjoyed it, as ever, leave a like, leave a comment, perhaps even subscribe. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again another time. But for now, goodbye.